and just take the size hit.
Two groupers
Because
for
like
Sigvar. Wow.
2 groupers for the one slice, yeah, because it's really really good for those low quantity item types. Like it keeps the uptime of your unloader much higher with bad input.
That's really interesting. So wait, so what is the idea again? Do you basically queue the next group so it can
Correct.
immediately?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you make 2 groups at a time so that you can feed it like when you run out of stuff from the first group, you can unload it immediately and start the next group. The kind of
Okay.
annoying part of it is that if you want to deal output, you need to run all the output of the grouper over the second grouper because it didn't ever get checked if it was in the first group.
Right. Yeah. But you also still have like the queue, so like you're not losing any speed, but it is more complex.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to lose. You're gaining speed, but it's more complex to do, and so the whole thing is going to be larger. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
And would it be two LUF groupers?
and that's the question. So I think
I
it might
see.
be smaller and like more reasonable just to do one LUF and then 2 groupers, and then make the groupers globally clocked, like carries.
The groupers globally clocked?
Yeah,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah. What's up, Kristen?
Yep.
Um,
That's another reason why I'm kind of like I keep on wanting to work on the LUF, but then in the back of my
Hello.
head I'm like, are we even gonna use it?
I mean, I think it will ultimately be useful in whatever, like, I think it'll always be useful for Sigfar to have that sort of functionality, but I don't think it'll be for Baby if we're gonna do 2, and I think we should probably do 2.
So we're
What?
gonna have to
Could you
come
catch
up
me up?
with
Sorry.
like another
Two
name. Like
groups, juniors.
Uh,
you had like the
this is parallel
twins.
loader. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, this is the parallel note conversation. Um, where is?
What am I flying?
Parallel loading versus variable sorting.
Yes. Do we not have the articles set based on loader and
Yeah, I
source?
was about to ask, like the dueling hopper one. We could be using that one, but
I don't see it in our archive.
maybe it's. Pretty sure it's somewhere in storage stack.
It's in
think it's
storage tech, yeah. I was looking in
Yeah,
in
I
the
can go
storage.
get it for you. I'll look for it. Meanwhile, keep basing
Um,
rest of the stuff. I'll go
yeah,
think
search
it's an
for you.
ST1.
I think I have
Yeah,
it
yeah. Do you
somewhere.
have it?
I should have a skim of it. Yeah, I
Oh, if you
do.
know it. Oh, you do. Nice.
Let's put that over here.
What the?
What the hell?
What's going on here? I thought I was
For
lagging.
your character model is tweaking. What the hell? Flying
Yeah,
ant.
Ariana.
Hacking in a creative Minecraft server. Crazy.
Yep. Okay. So for this conversation, I kind of like with the conversation that RAFQ opened in ST1 recently, as well as just generally, I think there's a lot of like the meta currently is to just use a parallel loader and a fuck ton of box loaders, right? And you kind of just
Yeah,
say,
that's literally it.
that's
Mhm.
great, right? Um, but
It
I
works, I
think
mean.
like for more advanced stuff, var loaders have kind of like not var loaders, but like var arrays and loops have been kind of the go to as well. And I think that like as we've continued to develop more and more tech, I feel like there's kind of a conversation that hasn't happened about like, okay, is there ever a point that var loops or other like more thorough var threading technology could replace parallel unloaders in the more IKEA or more like mainstay storage systems. And so I kind of wanted to hear your thoughts and kind of have a conversation on that topic.
Okay, so first things first, I was literally talking about something similar today with Krisu, which
Mm-hmm.
was like you can have as many resources, IKEA, whatever, which is great as you want, and
Mm-hmm.
archives or whatever. But issue a lot of people have, myself included, because I just make some stuff, but then we have no idea how they actually one go together, two what's good combos or like what works together, what doesn't, what's a good trade-off, what fits together, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And like I think that's a really important point to be discussing, and maybe also like working upon not just having the resources but also like teaching people how to use it.
Yeah. So like, specifically for var sorting and var
Yeah,
loops
yeah.
is like with the parallel loader, you kind of, and this, I guess this is like the first kind of important point is with the parallel loader, you condense all the complexity and all the questions that anyone has to ask, so to speak, when designing a new thing into one component. Right. And so it's like everything is done here. And so the rest of it is literally just a whole bunch of SS3 or SSI filters.
Yeah,
Spam.
literally. Yeah,
Right.
that's why
And
no one really has any, I mean, usually no one has doubts about how parallel loading works, like set-based unloading works, or
mhm.
sorting, whatever. Just slap it on and just get it to work. It usually works. But then you get to bar sorting and you have like these at least three different types of splitters. You have a merging, you have everything, and like at that
A
point it
billion
becomes
types of
messy.
them.
Exactly. And
Would you
then what
suggest
are we
just
doing?
combining all of that into one component?
I mean, like that's an option. The reason that it's not one component is because it really depends on what you are trying to do. Right.
Yeah.
So like bar sorting is known and is powerful because it's of its customizability. Right.
Mhm.
You can basically make it do anything you want it to do. The question is, what do you want it to do? And since everyone answers that question differently, no one makes one machine that does all of the things. Because if you were to do that, you would basically be saying, I want full boxes of everything. Right.
As
Or
we
like only
should.
certain things, or like when do you want full boxes, right? And so
But
because it's,
whitelisters can be adjusted, so I don't know that's a great argument. I'm
I
sure there's
mean,
like at least some kind of standard that could be made if you want to make a standard.
right. But then I'm thinking about like, for example, like with encoded logic, like let's say you're doing Palo logic, right? You're going to be sending some boxes at some points into your temp from outside of the loop itself, right? And so you would need to like have access to that and have a separate component for that. Or what if you want an accessible temp of some kind, right? And then you can't have that be in like the same machine as you would have everything else because you want to have it be a part of the UI, right? So I mean, I think it is just the customizability, but there are. I mean, it's possible to make like a machine that does it all. I just don't know if it's.
If
Like, is it?
Okay,
It's
if
not
you're
really
talking about
necessary.
IKEA in a sense, like you have to think next step up in complexity. I don't think you should try and go for like Palo unloading or encoded unloading at all in that sense. Like if
No,
you want
yeah,
to take a step with var loops, you probably should just do like a split box unloader and a var loop.
yeah. No, I agree. I think if we're talking about like if the question is how do we make var loops more accessible to more people, I think that's a great way to do it. Would be just to condense everything into one machine. But I was trying to answer the question more so why hasn't that happened yet?
Well, what did Cyblitz use again? Or what if the
Like,
Cycraft storage?
I think everyone has used a parallel loader because none of them are fully encoded. They've all
okay, but
used.
like, the question is like, does it have to exist? Like, does a single unified solution actually have to exist, or is the problem more like do we need to build resources for people to actually use it or start using and making their own resources? I think that's more of a problem here.
Like you make a component that's the specific purpose of it is just to connect other components together. Like you make
What?
that a separate thing to make it easier to construct these, or is that what you mean?
No, I mean literally teaching people how different components go together, what
It's more
they
like
should
helping
use in
people.
certain scenarios, what's the best thing they should be using in each case.
So we make like one of those redstone books from Mojang.
Basically. And
Yeah.
then obviously encourage people to use like brain, apply brain and go like, oh, but maybe in my case, this would be better, or like for
Mhm.
this application, this is actually not that suited, and then just make their own, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be really cool. I think the problem is that most people like who come looking for a storage system just want like something that's going to function. They don't really care about understanding it as much.
Yes.
And so if that's the case, then does it ever make sense to like not use a parallel loader?
No.
I guess one of the
No,
questions.
not really.
Yeah.
Like that's if we're talking about public MS that you make for people and just not your own. If
Yeah.
I mean, I can think that most of us here would rather learn how to do var sorting, and like any other person trying to learn storage tech, sure they may spend like a few months doing their own parallel unloading thing, which already exists, so it's not even that big of a deal. But they would rather than move on and actually learn how to do var sorting.
We should
Yeah.
make like a teaching course, or like where we have like classes and like advanced classes, and we just go through like the different like
Go
attributes of
visit
storage
SimTech.
tech.
Yeah, the classes do exist. They haven't been
If you
happening.
have any class ideas, suggest them in SoonTech or teach
Okay.
them.
Yeah,
I did have one thing I did want to do was actually create one of those like redstone books, but for storage tech. I always had the idea. I really wanted to make one myself.
The problem is I think a lot of people have, I mean, at least I as well have thought of writing some larger documentation on some things, but it's really large of a project for
Like I want to actually make physical books too, because I do arts and crafts, so I like to build stuff like that.
Oh. The way I would see it work is, you know, soon the storage catalog website, just add an addition to that, and then adopt a similar style to the current dictionary we have, where everyone can just add new entries to missing items or missing words or whatever, and just use that approach, except for a website of components and their interactions.
You mean like the Minecraft wiki or something, where you can add to it?
that's part
I
of my
guess-
question though, is
I
like,
guess
should we
you could
not just
see
try
it
and
as
update
that.
the wiki instead of trying to make more books?
But
Do
books
we
are
have a
cool.
wiki?
Books are
Is
cool,
out
yeah.
the storage tech wiki? Is there?
Oh, who broke it?
But imagine having a physical
Like, could we
book in
expand
your
the main
hand.
wiki?
Can we expand the what wiki?
The main official, non-official wiki website.
Oh, to like include storage tech stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we could. I think people oftentimes, like at least in my interactions, there's either like people who are really, really interested to learn and people who are not interested to learn.
Yeah.
Right. I think making resources for people who are interested to learn more available is going to be difficult. Like I guess I don't really like the idea of having that attached to the wiki. I'd rather have that be like a separate resource, because it's going to be
Yeah.
something so different than what the wiki is. Right? Like the wiki is just like detailed information on things. When you're talking about var sorting or really anything storage tech, it's going to be so much more like involved, so to speak, than just like this game mechanic. I feel like, at least.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, just have it be an extension of our current SC, like, storage catalog website. Also,
That makes sense.
the
Maybe the fintech
dictionary should
website though,
totally
but
be
yeah.
part of a website. Like the dictionary, we already have the dictionary. It should be part of a
I think it's
website,
in the
I feel like.
website.
Is it?
I think there's a
If
link
it
to it.
is, sorry, because I'm blind, but I'll go check.
What website are we talking about?
Storage
The
cap
storage catalog. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah,
or storage
something
tech.
literally something kind of like this, except for var sorting item like var sorting contraptions, or like similar contraptions in general, like something like this. Because like you got design archive, you got the dictionary, then you got a section for how the items in the design archive can be used together or like can be connected to achieve a certain goal, you know?
Yeah. I think the problem is that that sort of information is kind of like very difficult to convey over text. I feel like that would be best for like a video format. Like
Or what
honest.
about like a picture book, you know? That kind of actually like, shows the blocks and like how they interact with each other.
That's
I mean,
fair, but like
I
how
think video.
would you
Yeah.
how would you make a video book accessible to people online?
Yeah. I mean, that's just YouTube.
Yeah. But at that point, just make a video, I guess.
Yeah. I think
Like a really in-depth good video.
I think making a good video would be better. I think there are already a lot of videos, and that's nice. But I think a lot of them, like the storage tech YouTube experience, is kind of insane.
Nope. Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Well, it's like there were
It's
some
your
old videos where
meme.
people introduced concepts back in the days
Yeah.
that actually
exactly.
had some good animations and explained things and were short videos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also,
I've
like completely
kind of been doing my own
unrelated,
strange
but
things, but
wait, this is unrelated, but did we ever end up deciding what to do about the storage catalog YouTube idea? Because like
I like
Andrew
the idea.
said he totally has the like enough side capital to invest in storage catalog, and we're currently not using it. It's just sitting idle. So the editor issue is totally not a problem. It's more like
Probable.
what
Yeah.
content do we want to have there, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things is like all these conversations have been recorded and they're currently on Willie's channel. We could
Mhm.
move over to the storage catalog channel, and I don't know if it's worth editing them or not. I think we could just have that as long form content.
I was thinking yes. Especially the lessons, for example. What was it? I think, for example, quad bulk front end lessons is an example. Like they were good, the ones by Basil. They were good, but there were just these long, big gaps that just inflated it. If you trimmed it down to
Oh,
a
sure.
manageable amount, it would be like, I don't know, 20 minutes worth of lesson and would actually be useful for people instead of scrolling through 3 hours of content.
That's fair.
maybe
That
instead
is
of just-
fintech. Importantly, that is like
Yeah,
different.
more timestamps.
Yeah. But that's
I mean-
on Sim, not here.
Maybe
Yeah.
instead of just using the straight recordings, you can just like record like a script of it, like a slimmed down version of the
Exactly.
class. Yeah.
You summarize what happened and just record
And then like
that.
at the end you introduce the questions that everyone else had during the course.
Mhm.
Like any like
Exactly,
good
exactly.
questions, yeah. Because maybe not everyone would be up for having like themselves be in a video, like their voice and all that. So like this would be a way to like make it so it's just like you talking.
Yeah, as well. And then like realistically you could just, especially with summer coming, and you could just split up the work. You could just go like, oh, we got this video available, we just got the script, we got everything. Who wants to be recording this? It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be one person taking up all of the work for themselves. That would be kind of stupid. Or just we can split it
I mean,
up. like-
I agree with that. I've had very questionable results trying to divvy up work in the past, but I also haven't tried super frequently. So it definitely could be worth taking a stab at again. I would like to kind of redirect the conversation back to
yeah.
what we're more talking about, which is specifically like within game, the differences between the two, what's like the merits and demerits of each, and kind of how we should move forward from that.
In my opinion, the narrative of a set-based downloader is that, well, other than the simplicity, I think it comes from the how quick you can already start sorting. Like, for example, if you take a splitter and a merger, you have to first split a box. Actually, let's say two different boxes, and then you will see that one of those boxes will get unloaded by the merger again, and so you are like trimming down. Is that the right term, I guess? To how can I explain this? 1 second. Like, it's basically you have two different cycles to actually get your box, your full new
you
box.
add,
I
you
don't
add
know
a
if
whole bunch of layers of processing in between you and your items. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Meanwhile, the set-based downloader is just you put the box in there and it
20
gets
seconds it
unloaded.
starts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it already, and it doesn't matter if the item has to come into the chest hole or the bulk storage. It's just gonna sort into the right slice. You don't have to. Well, maybe you have, but you are not stricted to use the variable loaders and stuff like that. You don't need a temp. You don't need all of those things that could make the processing slower.
Isn't the whole point making the process faster? Isn't that the aim?
It is faster on average, though. It's
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the kind of the funny thing is like it's unintuitive, but adding those extra layers of processing actually helps.
the problem is like while it does add a few steps, if any boxes don't have pairs, they're immediately sent to being unloaded. If any boxes have a lot of item types, they're sent to be merging. Then there's full boxes that skip unloading. Like there's a lot more cases than that case that make it faster.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, but
Yes,
there is no. There are a couple of issues. The first one being like every instance of you unloading the item again cuts your hopper speed in half, or not. Yeah, I'm not gonna say in half, but it reduces it by one step, and so you get slower and slower with each addition of things. And so I don't know if anyone's actually compared splitting into unloading versus just unloading. I think that'd be interesting to do, and that could be useful data to have.
Help with lots of hidden item types.
Yeah, that's true. So it depends on how mixed the boxes are, I guess. And then the second point is that with var loops right now, we're only ever really going at bumper speed, and with parallel unloaders, 16 standard, right? I don't know how often that's being reached across different item sets, but you have
I
access.
did understand why 8 was the limit for var sorting, though. Gotta be honest.
It's temp is the problem.
Going faster than 8 doesn't yield anything if you throw everything into temp.
Yeah, that's been my that at least. Like you can't handle box
that after with Andrew's new temp.
We tested. I mean, we haven't tried faster splitting speeds because we were bottlenecking temp with 8x. I think there's something to be said
with the
for
new temp or with the old temp.
With the matrix temp.
Okay.
Who the fuck
is matrix temp also limited to that speed? So
yeah, it's like if you basically input exclusive, it's like specifically the query input without SVAR in between was bottlenecking matrix temp. I think we could maybe do some good work, and I think they are using SVAR temp or not SVAR temp, they're using SVAR in between splitting and temp in SoonMS. And I think that we can probably get to higher splitting speeds using SVAR, but the logic will have to be pretty specific with that goal in mind, which again is more development worth doing.
Yeah, the SVAR logic hasn't really been developed yet, I think.
I mean, we've tried a whole bunch. I haven't tried a whole bunch of different things. I'm pretty sure a whole bunch of different things have been tried.
I'd really like to see what has been tried because I haven't really seen much.
Yeah, exactly. That's
And
the
I
problem.
actually tried
I don't have
testing Skyzy's
a lot
thing.
of
I need to actually update Skyzy on that. But I tried testing the thing that they posted ago, and just it broke.
Oh, oops.
It just snapped
Well,
in half.
Yep.
Something about the recombiner at the end of the variable box sorter.
Yeah. I mean, I think like the SVAR question is actually really, really sticky because it is like how much do you buffer is the question, right? And different
Yeah.
buffers will have different results with different item sets.
And that would be a good graph to see.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to get some data on that. And that's very doable.
More charts.
But yeah, so it's like how fast we can make bar loop to be competitive with parallel loaders is going to be dependent on temp and what we can do to group pairs before temp, which it's like massive bottleneck right now.
So everything
don't think-
else at the moment is able to go above that cap.
What do you mean?
So like all other components, splitters, mergers, whatever, can go
Yeah.
above that limit, right?
I mean, those things are theoretically infinite, right? You just add more slices.
You just
The full
stack them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Okay.
let's try it this way. I think I have seen some var loops exist, even in like shared projects somewhere that people made as demos. Those I think were using arrays of one-time splitters and mergers. How? So like with tech that it does actually exist. I guess I'm asking like how fast does that get? And I think that we've kind of noticed that it is slower with the tech that does exist, right?
Like temp is slower than what we would do with splitting and
Like
merging.
overall sorting speed, because we said for some reason, probably temp it only goes 8 times.
Yeah, what I've seen up to date is people have only done 8x loops. I've seen temps get bottlenecked in 8x loops, and there aren't that many fast temp options. But I also I'm limited information here, right? People could have done larger loops. I'm just
Is
not
there
aware.
any way we can somehow ask people in other tech servers how much they've tested SVAR systems?
I mean, we can. Yeah, we just have to go into the servers and ask. I don't know.
You'd have to take them for their
Because I
word.
think Monica and Skyzy have mentioned thoughts on things, and I imagine Catnip would have tried something, but I honestly can't tell how much they actually tested or just made things.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this conversation is coming back into like we just need more numbers.
Well, okay.
I
Part of
think
my
what-
problem is like I would like to test SVAR systems. I think that's honestly the biggest focus or thing that we just don't know right
Mhm.
now. But my problem is that personally is that still leading into mergers, which is unloading items. And ever since I started looking at var sorting systems, I've hated that. So that's why I've been more interested in like cart tech and other things, or the crazy SVAR thing that me and Andrews were theorizing.
I mean, that's still unloading items.
So
though.
it's like personally for me, I don't have as much interest in the project. But if people want to drag me into it, I might.
I mean,
There's-
any instance of merging is going to re-unload items as long as you're not doing ideal output sorting in the first place.
I'll just mention it
even-
really quickly, but the thing me and Andrews were saying was that if you merge a bunch of smaller filled boxes together, you do reduce unloading on
Total
average,
items unloaded, yeah.
because you're unloading many boxes into one box, so that's only unloading them one time instead of multiple times.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
stream
That's true.
merging.
Yeah. It's
So it
stream
would be
merging is
faster.
also
It's
merging
just the
apart.
SVAR would be so much more complicated.
Yeah.
One thing that me
I think it'd
and
be cool though.
Carrie, I think we're looking at is to do stack. What's it called? Stacks.
Stack
Oh,
separation
like
sorting.
Separation.
Yeah, and then load all the stacks into a box, and then have like a combination of like SVAR grouper and stream merger in one module.
SVAR group restraint.
You want to explain a bit?
So you have like an SVAR, and then the output of the SVAR directly, like, is instantly unloaded into a box in the same slice.
Yeah, so stream merging off the
Yeah.
SVAR.
Yeah, I think Caribou was just doing stream merging.
Yeah. And that's good.
Which is
The
really
problem
efficient for small boxes,
yeah.
but it's terrible for larger filled boxes.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't really matter for larger boxes because it doesn't slow down more. It's not that bad. You just rip through lots of boxes, but you just throw the empty boxes back into the system.
I mean, if we're talking about entity splitting in the first place, that in itself is a wasted operation that causes more sorting than you'd otherwise have to do if you just did an entity split, which is why we don't like it.
But it also does, like, the
It
main
loads
thing
them
is
into
that
boxes, which is the benefit. So it's lag reduction.
yeah.
But if you don't care about that, cart systems and stack separation are faster and reduce that step.
Yeah. Cards,
In
I
theory,
think,
yes. Cards
consider-
obviously then are better, but the problem about cards is that you cannot store them lag free.
yeah. But the problem is the boxes are just temporary storage in the first place, and by putting it in a box, you lock your output behind a lot of more complicated mechanisms, whereas if you have it in a cart, you can unload it much faster, and so you can move the items a lot quicker, which is why I think cart has the applicability. I think this came
That's
to
the
mind.
classic lag debate of cards.
Yeah. But I mean, like, if you get rid of them faster, I think it's worthwhile to consider. The other,
I cannot prove that you can get rid of them. Sometimes you just have to let them stick around.
What do you mean? Have you looked at some of the new Chinese splitters?
No, I have not. But that's
We
just
need to
splitting,
archive the
right?
new one Dom found, by the way.
yeah,
That's
we
a
probably,
really good one.
yeah, we should talk to the creators of that and see if they're willing to let it archive.
Good point.
But yeah, I think so. I think there is actually a good case still for entity splitter, specifically in this conversation, just because fragmenting the items does actually make the parallel unloader that much better, right? So like creating like one stack boxes is really, really good for a parallel unloader.
Yeah, but what's the search time cost for that?
Oh, because you get
Because-
to search for more boxes, yeah.
Well, because if you only have a stack in each box, that means that you're limiting how much parallelization you can get. Because if you have only like 16 game tick clock cycle or search speed, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
then you're limiting to 32 times, which isn't bad, but I think it's slower than 16 game tick search. I don't know what it is for most.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think
If it's just SFAR, then sure, that could be faster. That'd be 8 game tick.
I mean, yeah, I think 8 game tick search is kind of assumed.
But like you
the
wouldn't be able to
benefit
do set based, I think. That'd be way too slow.
set base would be too slow for entity split boxes. You're saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have single item type boxes, your 2 item check is 8 game ticks. So you have that going for you.
Okay,
because
but can you still check sets that quickly?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. I mean, we can unload. We know that we can make unloaders that work fast enough, right? Like that logic is manageable. I'm fairly confident.
I'm just saying it probably would have to be as far as not set based.
Yeah. Set based, I think, could be. Okay. Where's the? Can you put that in text or voice?
Mm-hmm.
Already. That's greatly appreciated. So I think SVAR based would be very reasonable in that situation.
Oh, excuse me.
Helpful.
What was that? The link someone in text for voice?
RAFQ found
There it is.
some data on SVARs. We did a test against optics unload the other day, the same data set. 240 hermit boxes. 8x to match boxes. 440. Whoa.
Anyone know what context this is of?
So this is
Uh,
when we were designing the parallel unloader, there were me, Boyan, Glotz, and Raps getting the first official version out. We wanted to make a test about the set-based unloader. So that was the V1, if I remember correctly, against one of those splitter mergers unloader arrays. And so we took optics design, which I don't know how optimized this is because it's also really old.
mhm.
And we ended up getting these numbers where the set-based unloader was actually faster than the splitter
Splitting
merger. Yeah.
Yeah, like significantly faster.
Yeah.
Is there theories as to why it was in this case?
Our theories is that it was probably because of all the delay that it takes to take the boxes and do the processing. I think that's the only thing.
Yeah, just the
Kind of makes
loop.
sense because if you think about it, in 100 game tick, while you process a box, you can already unload like 12 items from a shulker box. And if
Mhm.
you do that over and over and over again, you pile up a lot of items that you have already unloaded while the splitter merger is still processing the boxes.
Yeah.
This is more showing the difference of SFAR versus double pass versus set. I don't think this has to do with splitters. That
I
much.
mean,
Honestly.
the comparison is between splitter merger versus set-based
Yes,
unloader.
but if it's using an SFAR, that will be a much greater bottleneck than the splitter ever is.
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
Because
I
you'll
think
have slices
this is
that
kind
finish
of-
first. If it's a global reset SFAR, there'll be so many slices unused, and that's probably the main bottleneck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically
theory.
the argument here is that the logic for pair finding was flawed and could have been more optimized, and that would have made it more competitive. Is that what you're saying?
Pair finding as well as the unloading array itself.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah, that's fair.
I want to be honest, I don't remember how much optics unloader works, but there is the video about it.
Mm.
But I remember that it was not a set-based one. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
about it.
Yeah.
Because the nice
So,
thing about
I mean-
set base is that it's basically double pass, but like faster.
Yeah, I mean, set-based is really peak. I think we should probably do some testing again now that we have Skyzy's set-based single item type. I'd be curious to see how
Yeah,
that
Skyzy
competes.
showed off a few parallel unloaders.
Yeah, I think we should. I think we could test his set-based one after Twitter and see how it competes. I think he has some number. I think he has some numbers, but I don't know if they're. Yeah, I don't know where they are.
I'd really like to see a double pass parallel unloader, but
Oh, it's so painful. It's,
Triple
there's so
pass.
triple pass.
trouble pass.
Wait, how is that supposed to work?
Triple pass
that-
is a joke. Triple
Huh?
pass. Triple pass would do literally nothing. Like the third
Yeah,
pass is.
I'm just messing.
No,
with
no, no. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the double pass in the set-based unloader. Because what I know, the double pass is used to, like, if you have
It's
I
for
don't
set
quite remember.
Yeah, so double pass is like a replacement for the same thing that the set is doing, which is basically you just have the one item per slice stored in your SFAR, and then you run the items like you run anytime you get a new box, you run it over through the SFAR, and the first time is read only. So if there's a slice that is assigned, it will try and enter those slices, and if there are any empty slices, it doesn't try and enter those until the second pass. And then after it's checked every
Oh,
active slice, then you can assign slices.
oh yeah. I
It's a
remember.
method for increasing slice utilization in SVARs.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and so you can theoretically input boxes continuously and still have the 1x per item type.
Well, but the
Guaranteed.
problem is that you still have to post the box sending, right? To reset the slice.
Yes, I think you can reset slices while it's well, no, you probably do, but I think that's like a nominal, like a very ignorable amount of time, right? Because this anytime you reset a slice is going to take like you could say 8 game ticks, right? You just can't send a box during that time period, so you probably would just do like your pass, and then you would reset slices while boxes are reorganizing for the second pass.
I
That's probably what
well, I
like in
guess,
between.
but I
I
remember
don't know.
that
I
when
haven't thought of
Boyan,
it.
I remember when
Mhm.
Boyan started making the set-based unloader, he was talking about the double pass having this flow, and if you have just a set, you basically bypass that problem.
Yeah, I mean, set is better than double pass. I think,
Oh, okay.
like
So
basically in every way.
this is why
Except,
I was like, wait, how would that work? How would a double pass with set be useful? Was that a
it's
talk
not.
that I didn't get?
No,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
not both.
Okay.
it's literally not useful. Yeah, they do the same thing. They do the same thing logically. Set is just simpler, easier, probably faster sometimes. So, like theoretically, double pass can be faster than set, but it's like theoretically only.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think we should do. I should probably make a freaking list at this point of the things that we should test. So much shit.
Start a thread
Give me
somewhere. I don't know.
One thing that I think would be interesting to look at is not only the throughput, but also the latency for small sorting operations. So, like, take the hyperbolic case where you throw in a single item. How long does it take to sort?
10 hours.
10 hours would be crazy.
Because I feel like there's quite a large difference between like different ways of sorting and how long it takes to sort one item.
That's true. I mean, I don't think if you're
Yeah.
inputting an item into yours, I don't know if that's like a super useful number, like how long it takes to sort a single item.
Well, but sorting a single box that's like half filled is done quite often. And if
That's
you can
true.
reduce the amount of time that the chunk loaders are running for that time, that's quite nice.
Well, that's when I'd say use 8 times cart splitters, but
Yeah, well,
Well, yeah.
that is the argument for cart splitters, right? Is that you can get significantly higher throughput with significantly smaller batch sizes. That's one of the arguments, anyways. I think that there are a lot of good use. I'm biased as fuck, so for batch sizes and science counts.
Racist against carts, huh?
I'm racist pro carts.
Oh.
I do much cart tech.
I kind of also feel like this would be an argument against variable sorting in the first place.
The
It
would
helps
be?
that argument. Well, the fact that unloading a single item or like a single stack of items is very fast for parallel unloaders. It just unloads it, then you're done. While with any like var loop, you're gonna have to first split it, which is already approximately the same time it takes for parallel unloader, and then where the parallel unloader would already be done, the var loop is not even halfway.
But you can do both of those, merging and splitting with a cart at 8x for the same
yeah,
item.
that's one really important detail is apply cart and you will go faster. The second thing is if you put a single stack into any var loop, if it's a bulk item, which is like the worst case for the speed, you split for the same time period, and then it just goes in temp, right? And so if that's the case, then you're fine. The problem, I guess, is chest hall, where you have to unlock.
No, you're not done. Because it goes into temp, it finds the box, it needs to then merge, then it needs to
there's a
go back
box there.
to temp. Yeah, but there's
Yeah.
always going to be a box there. Like practically.
Half the time there will be a box there.
No.
What's the other half? I'm curious.
The other half is there's no box there because there was only. Oh wait,
That's not true.
no. Every other
There's always
box will
a
find a match. Every other box will find a match.
Well, yeah, every other box if you have continuous throughput, but if you put in a single item, there will always be a match. Like pretty much always.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. There. Yeah. I was thinking about temp search operations, not input operations. Yeah, no, that's a fair point. So, but I mean, the thing is like, yeah, it is going to take longer with the var loop unless you apply card, but it's going to take longer. I don't think it's going to take longer in a way that's like super noticeable to the player unless you input an item and then realize you need it, and then you go to the slice and the slice is empty. Like that is the chain of events that needs to happen for that to matter. Right.
What if you're in a
talking about the time that you need to load the storage. So some player puts in like a couple inventory items and you don't want the storage to be loaded for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I would say just don't start sorting.
I mean, if you input one box, if you input one full box of items, and it's a mixed box of items, and you input it into a parallel loader, you're gonna be sitting there. That's gonna be loaded for 11 minutes because that's how long it takes to unload a box at 1x hopper speed.
Plus for
And-
the items that travel the
Yeah.
water streams.
Yeah.
12-ish, yeah.
Which is
So you'll be there
Jesus.
for, and not to mention the box through the set based on loader having to get rechecked every single time it makes a pass.
And
So,
if you
like,
had
you're
one
probably-
8-time splitter instead, it would finish faster than could be parallel and loaded.
Exactly. Yeah.
okay. You split at higher speeds. That's
Yeah. I mean, I mean, these are all great arguments for card splitter. So I appreciate it.
I will
Um,
always
4x.
argue for card splitter.
64x card splitter.
I hope you guys didn't talk about this, but me and TIS have been like pondering about doing a splitter and then
Yeah.
XWAR for like no merging systems,
Bro.
which will make it faster since the box don't recycle and the unloaded utilization is like a lot better too.
Yeah, but it's slower with smaller item quantities or higher item variance.
You were talking, Lukim, you were just talking about using parts off of Entity Splitter? Or.
I mean, this splitter would be less optimal, but it's smaller, I guess.
Yeah. Well, can you repeat what you said? I'm sorry, I think I missed it.
Splitting and then unloading with the SWAR.
I think he basically just meant like optics unloading array, like just old style.
No, like instead of doing a parallel unloader, how about you split and use a SWAR? No merging or anything.
That is the old system.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
what you did. Okay.
I think.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
no, I remember that. Yeah.
It's just splitter and SFAR into unloading array.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the kind of going back a tiny bit, but like one of the benefits of the var sorting is that with multiple boxes, or I should say splitters more, with multiple boxes, you can go faster. And so if you're talking about inputting a single box, variable unloading, var loops with one-time splitters and the unloading array will be like kind of equivalently slow. It's
like.
but if you're
dueling
talking about with
hopper-
one box, then carts can speed that up. Is the thing.
Or an entity splitter.
Yeah, entity
carts
splitter
are way
could as
better
well.
though, but
The question is like, are we actually trying to encourage like sorting one box? Is that something that people think should be optimized, or Because I thought a
think
lot
it
of
should be-
inputs were like 9 boxes or something.
I feel like input sizes oftentimes, at least like thinking about my as a single player survival player, like my inputs are typically like anything from like half of my inventory, so like 18 or less stacks, to like a few boxes. Right, that's my typical input size. So I would say a box is a very reasonable thing to optimize for, like a box to 5 boxes.
Because if you're talking lower quantity like that, Entity Splitter really isn't like a terrible option.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I just think
Very interesting, somewhat unanimous vote there.
Well, it's
No,
very
I-
easy to say that it's less latency.
I vouch for entity splitters. I love them.
I do
Too
like them a
bad
lot
for
as well.
shit.
Cards are just better.
Yeah.
They skip the whole step.
Yeah.
yeah, I think
When you
I
unload
do.
into Entity Pile, that is an Entity Splitter. Like,
Yeah,
But I also do think that optimizing for a single box is kind of unrealistic because who
Yeah.
actually stores when they only have one box?
I'll sort
I mean, I
one
think a lot of
single
people
icon.
probably do. I don't think.
Yes.
I think the problem is that the one box isn't the issue. It's like when you come back from like a massive project and you have 20 boxes. That's when the speed really matters.
Yeah.
You know, like that's when you don't want to have your system running for 3 hours.
yeah, I can see that too.
And that's when 1x hopper speed really murders you. Like
And
that's
an
the
Entity
rough.
Splitter might be a disaster.
Yeah, exactly.
2x,
No, that would be
2x
horrible.
hopper speed parallel unloaders.
Those
Why
do
would
exist.
Splitting be so disaster in that case?
I mean, there is a 2x chest hall design.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's actually really interesting. Splitter base versus base.
I mean, fundamentally, if we're trying to get higher speeds, even if it's not fully 2x, having anything higher than 1x would really help.
It does, yeah. Though
Question
typically
is-
speaking, like if you can get 16x, like that's like the meta now is just 16x unloading. Or
Well,
trying
like-
to have 6x unloader, not
Except that
necessarily.
132 times unloader someone made with the stacks up.
My God.
I
Yeah,
think we're referencing Bear for a second there.
I did too. I got scared.
Well, Bear's using it. That's the one he's using.
That was such a.
We don't got to talk about Bear though.
It
So
was a funny day.
I think, yeah. So I think it seems like some of the concerns that have been brought up thus far are, one, speed, two, like throughput and latency are both things that have kind of been mentioned, and how you can kind of get both of those higher right now with par unloaders versus var unloading.
Isn't another thing like features? Isn't that important? Having as many features as possible.
It depends on what you're doing with your items. VAR sorting does have a much better feature set, though, in terms of like your options and customizability. Speaking of one of the things that's been mentioned is the kind of like one size fits all solution of par unloading. It makes things much easier for the player who's designing the system than VAR sorting currently does, because it's all in one place.
Yep.
So speed on both fronts, customizability,
I'd
and
say
then
another
like,
important
simplicity.
feature that has not been mentioned is the pausing function.
Pausing function. Interesting. I mean, you can pause var loops, no?
What's the point of pausing?
If you want
Wanna
to lock out or something, or if something breaks and you don't want to break
A
things
lot of
work.
people do play it in single player.
Yeah,
I've noticed.
pausing is a nice feature, but pausing is more complex with a var loop because there are multiple components to pause right now, which is
Yeah.
fair.
But
Like,
each
the way-
task is smaller in a sense, so I feel like it might be a little bit easier. You just lock everything from starting another task.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I mean, with some parallel loaders at least, you can like pause it mid operation and it'll instantly stop. Like it doesn't even need to finish its operation.
The thing is, you need to wait for the items to flow through.
Yeah, it's true. You need to wait. You need to wait for the loose items. That is very true.
Do you though?
With this
If you're
simplicity
gonna
loader,
unlock,
with the
You're gonna
simplicity
unload your
loader,
filters.
Yeah.
Item filters are
Oh.
unload proof.
I think I remember
Like,
someone saying that they
unload-
are not unload proof.
Arguable.
Unload
Yeah.
proof enough.
I think nothing's unload proof because Mojank is Mojank.
No, but they're
Unless
unload
you-
proof enough. Like they don't catastrophically break.
That's true. Yeah.
If you don't have one
Like, you
item
might-
in the filter, then probably.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
unload proof situation. Unless you unload twice without an item entering the filter.
Okay, crash loop could be an issue.
Maybe that breaks it. I don't know.
But honestly, just update to newer versions and don't have any suppression anymore.
Yeah.
Cannot crash.
Yeah, possibility. I mean, I think possibility is probably about even. I feel like at least like they're both very possible things if they're designed to be paused.
That's the problem, though. Is not many of them are designed to be paused. So you'd have to like,
Add the feature.
yeah.
I
like,
wonder. I wonder
Go
how
ahead.
complicated. Like, I wonder like how small you could make a full storage that has like every feature in storage tech, like all in one contraption.
Depends how slow you want it to be.
Yeah.
Depends how
Also,
like what
If you want to make
customer
everything one times,
feature.
like that wouldn't. I don't think that'd actually be that hard. But
Like you want pausing, you want to select whether stuff is going to be loose items or shulker boxes of items, all that stuff.
I mean, that's just encoded, but
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's a little outside of scope of conversation right now. I do think that system would use var sorting though.
I
Yeah,
do.
definitely.
This does make me really curious how much, or just how would one cart 8 times splitter and a set-based split box parallel unloader for 8 slices. That seems like an interesting combination to try.
It does sound like an interesting conversation. I think that could honestly maybe be competitive, especially with small inputs. That could be very, very competitive with parallel unloader.
What's the main parallel unloader at right now? Is it
16 slices? Yeah.
Okay, so you could do 2 of the splitters.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is like even then, I don't know how frequently you're actually using all those slices.
If you use splitters, you'll have higher utilization probably.
Yeah, you will, and that's the advantage you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you did 2 card splitter slices plus a 16x set based, ooh, he got data. We love me some data. No, why are we doing more B? Why are we refilling the B's? Just okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that could be potentially competitive, and then I don't know. I feel like introducing cart tech like is definitely a part of the conversation, but like makes some people unhappy. I don't really know why, to be honest.
I'm so happy about carts.
I don't know. People don't like carts for some reason.
I mean,
They're
I
just
find
they are
I find
strange
them
and hard to
very-
learn. Once you learn hoppers, you have to learn a whole nother system.
Yeah, I mean, I get why you wouldn't build the tech, but like, why do you shit on the tech that uses carts? That's more my question.
Well,
Yeah.
because some people actually like to understand what they build appropriately.
That's fair. Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, trains are cool.
trains
Carts
are cool.
Yeah, it's like I like trades. I like carts.
Carts.
but you would never use trains to like clean up your house.
If I could do
Roomba.
that, I would do that. That sounds
Roomba.
awesome. Imagine just having a tray go to your house, cleaning it. Actually, I feel like I should decorate my Roomba to look like a train. That would be cool.
Uh, Possibility.
Fixability is
So
also one.
fix. Oh, that's actually really really good. Yeah. I mean,
Fixability is
parallel
very,
motors
very important.
aren't great for fixing either, but like it's just one thing, you know, versus like 5 or 6 components that will break and be really annoying.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for fixability is that when you have multiple components, it's like a lot more to understand or to be
Yeah.
fixing. But like Skyzy was mentioning that like very basic one-time splitters and mergers don't tend to break that much.
Yeah. They're bulletproof-ish.
I don't know, I'd call it bulletproof, but they do seem to be relatively reliable from very little data that I've heard.
Mhm.
I've
um,
not tried to crash test them, but I assume they shouldn't be too bad.
the thing I would mention though is like if someone actually does write a document explaining how to fix common cases and how the component works that for some reason people are more commonly using, then like one, it helps people understand it, and two, like if they do need to fix it, then they have something to help them.
Yeah, that
And
kind of equalizes fixability when you add a
so
guy.
if that work is
No, it
put in,
doesn't
I don't think
equalize.
fixability is an issue. The problem is
No, I
that's
do
not
think.
always put in. I still haven't even done that for Cartman's V3.
I think that the main issue with fixability of these VAR systems is that as soon as you add like SVAR or stuff like that, then you have a lot more to fix in case you crash the server or
But what
close
about
your
an
world.
SVAR breaks? Like so many of the variable sorting components, what about them actually breaks?
Everything.
Not really. I mean, merger is just a hopper pointing into a circle box until it breaks it.
Or I'll put it this way. I feel like most var sorting systems, if you add a trigger in the right spot, they can clear themselves out.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I was gonna say, I was curious what your thoughts were, Lukeem, because I know you've fixed you've fixed your loops a few times.
Yeah. I mean, temps are definitely the hardest one to fix.
Yeah.
Splitter is also like very inconvenient because you have
What
to
breaks
go
most in the
through
temp?
I mean cards. I'm using 7/7s and that is horrible. Right now it's like merging two different pairs, like the second box from the last pair and the first box on the second, like the next pair.
Was that a
It's
chunk
making
alignment
mixed
issue?
boxes. No, it's a crash issue.
Interesting.
Oh
But
boy.
like
That sounds
mixed
like a skill
boxes
issue with how it
and
was built,
a
though.
splitter, it is, but
I mean, it's gonna
that's
happen to everybody though, is the problem.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I mean, var loops assume so much data
Yeah, no. Yeah.
that if any of the assumptions are flawed, then it will break things quite badly.
Especially if like the splitter breaks. I haven't used a card-based one for that long for it to break, but if it does, it's probably gonna be not fun to fix.
Yeah, that goes back to one of Andrew's points actually from earlier, where he was talking about having some kind of systems to check if things are actually working.
Yeah,
It stops itself.
if it breaks. I mean, I think that in this case though, when things have been reliably tested, the only thing that's gonna break it is actually unloading.
But it
And
will still break it at some point, and not
No,
everyone
just
will notice that quickly.
yeah.
no, just making the assumption that if the system is designed correctly, it will not shit itself is a very bad argument.
Yep. It's like all the people claiming that Cartmas V3 is broken, and then it magically fixes itself. I will never understand that.
I mean, like,
I swear
I
there's like
I don't
10
think
plus,
you can get around
probably more
that.
than that. It's like, hey, this is broken. And 2 comments later, it's like, hey, it fixed itself. I'm like, guys. It's so hard. That's part of the reasons why I haven't made like a summary document for like how to fix it though, because there's like this common issue of like the carts piling up, but like it's caused by basically anything breaking in the system. And it's really hard to say like, hey, if this happens, do this. And even if I did, like,
The
no
symptom
one who has
for
that
every
issue
problem.
really knows why it happened.
Yeah.
It's just
This also didn't show up in testing, then I assume.
it kind of did, but we knew enough about what we were doing that we were like, oh, this was a problem, and we fixed it and moved on. I still think it's just like whitelist or failure. But everyone's like, oh, we checked our whitelisters, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think so though.
It was probably
Sorry.
I mean, I think it's fair to design with fixability in mind and like try and make your life easier. But I think if you're adding a whole bunch of features that are designed specifically to detect like when things happen because it unloads, then just add an unload check that pauses your system, like an unload detector that pauses your
Honestly,
system.
though, that is a good idea.
Right. And like I think that's like a great feature to add to any main storage system, but like you could either do that or you could just like add like 110 little checks that catch the issue even later still. Right? Because it's like, oh, error already happened, not error could have happened. Using both is fine. Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think both are the best.
Yeah, I mean that is more safety is better, but like I feel like the unload check pausing everything is just like kind of a one size fits all solution when you're using
But
heavily tested stuff.
you can have edge cases where the player thinks he fixed something, but then it's not fixed, and then it
That
starts.
no, you make a
Yeah,
very
yeah,
good
yeah.
point.
It's fucked up even more.
That is a very good point.
That's usually the problem, that you have some kind of item buffered somewhere and you didn't notice it, and then
Mhm.
suddenly it breaks. And this
Yeah,
happens quite often.
yeah. No, y'all make very good points.
Like we had this happen for the concrete storage just this week,
Hmm.
where some dummy item got stuck in some system and it fucked everything up, like in one go. And then after that, it becomes really, really annoying to fix because now everything is shuffled around.
And then you gaslight yourself about thinking that this breakage is caused by a buffered item, like me and TS are doing with the temp.
Hey, I've been testing it. It hasn't been breaking. So
Yeah, I think you can make like a war loop that's easy to fix.
yeah, that'd be
Unloaders are definitely easier for new players.
yeah. And also there's a lot of documentation on how to fix par unloaders.
Yeah.
And so that makes it easier as well.
They
How do we
are annoying to fix.
go ahead?
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna change the topic. So if you have something down there, go right ahead.
No, I just made the comment that var unloaders are actually also kind of annoying to fix.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'm sure they are. It's just there's like fewer components that break, I guess.
Yeah, that's the main thing. There's fewer stuff that breaks. It's just this one thing.
Yeah. I was gonna say and kind of like shift the conversation a little bit towards like ideal splitter and other ideal output methods because they get rid of a lot of the extra components required because they get rid of the merging loop entirely or the necessity for it. What the fuck are we doing over there? And I was curious if we think those sorts of things are making it more viable or will make it more viable to do var sorting as for simpler systems that still want
Yes,
the feature.
I think so.
Okay.
It depends on
they
what kind of
also
ideal
have
splitter
Depends if
you're
people
doing.
hate the entity pile or not. That's literally it.
Yeah.
People do hate the entity pile.
I hate the entity pile. I'm a big
If you
entity
only
pile
have
hater.
27 boxes, though, like that's really not that bad of an entity pile.
No, it is no lag. It's like I've said, it's dogmatic for me. There's no good reason for it. I just don't like entity piles.
It's crazy though, because like even just 9 boxes, like the item pile from that is really not that bad, and the merging power benefits from that is crazy.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's like you don't need 54, like 54 boxes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. And very rarely will ever input 54 boxes.
But like, there's a good argument for never even doing it.
Yeah.
If you really want low lag. It's like the thing is that you are moving cards around and like piston bolt and stuff that is like tiny bit more lag than moving boxes around in droppers. But yeah.
Mm,
But
yeah.
like if you are willing to do 54 boxes, like the merging power from that is just crazy.
Yeah.
Especially with Andrews. But yes, you will get like a lag spike for a second every once in a while because cart searching through a giant pile does take some lag or whatever processing.
Yeah, I mean it does. And cart Sigvar is kind of always soon TM. Like I made mine, I can't tell people to use it because I don't like it. And it has bugs and I'm not going to fix them because it's a prototype. So it's like, yeah, there aren't currently options for it because Sigvar is really fucking annoying and really difficult. It's just really fucking hard to do.
Yeah. And that kind of goes back to the other point that like part of the reason parallel unloading is like so popular is that is the level of complexity that most people top out at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how best to put it, but I think that's good enough. It's like not everyone wants to spend so much time designing a storage system and stuff. RefQ put some stuff in the chat.
It's the easiest,
For me,
best
it was,
solution, basically.
For me, it was a bit different. I'm willing to put in the time, but I'm not willing to put in this much complexity. Because complexity, you're always trading it for. Like complexity is something you can only spend one. That's how it kind of feels like to me.
What do you mean can only spend one?
Well, like simpler systems in general are better than more complex systems with the same feature set.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's just generally true. So
Yeah.
for me, I feel like
Occam's razor.
any variable sorting solution that's not just a parallel unloader needs to really justify its existence before I'm gonna consider it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't think a lot of them do right now because it's only like 8 times for somewhat
Yeah.
standard ones. And that's
But
why I
is it
think
the
cards are
same
so good because they
feature?
tend to be a lot faster for the complexity you put in.
Yeah. But is
I
it
will
the
always
same
argue for
features
cards.
if you have to build like hundreds of box loaders and set
Yeah.
filters for?
I mean, that's annoying, but once the system is running, it's insanely easy to debug. And basically any SMP player can like fix it.
Yeah.
That's my main argument.
Yep.
For
Not always. Depends on the system. Like Red Wave.
Bro,
We
Red Wave
have it on
is a
SMP and no
massive-
one knows how to fix it, and it's like a pretty big problem.
What kind of systems does that storage use?
It's encoded, like hybrid encoded, but it uses a parallel encoder.
It's just box loaders, like, and then the remote breaks.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more of the encoded stuff that it's broken in it. That's beside the point. I'm just saying it's a parallel encoder storage that is still complicated to fix.
But not because of the parallel loading or
No.
a var loop. That's other encoded tech.
Yeah, I don't think anything sorting would affect it.
Mhm. I mean, I think like I'm thinking in my head like the comparison being, and this is not a fair comparison because A, it doesn't exist, and B, it's not going to be as fast. But like I'm thinking like baby Sigvar as like a point of comparison to a par unloader and a temp, and then you're done. Well, that's all you need for your theoretically for your system. And I think that would be like if that sort of technology existed, I think that would be a point where you're like, okay, I should maybe pick var sorting just because the build effort is so much lower. And then you still have all the features of var loop, right, where you have access to boxes whenever you want them, right, partial or full, and you can do whatever you want with those boxes. I guess like the only thing, like one of the things that probably makes Parallel Loader better too is that the main method of sorting items right now is still chest hauls, right? And like simple chest hauls can't do anything with partial boxes. And so there's not any benefit in normal systems to having partial boxes of item types. Which is like why would you have partial boxes if you're not, like, you don't need to make partial boxes if you're not going to use them anywhere, you know? But I feel like that, I don't know, I hope that meta doesn't stick around, because I feel like that's not the flexibility we're probably going to need as we continue to get more item types and better farms to produce more of all those items.
Boxmas for the win.
Exactly. That's my quiet. I was not saying that part aloud. Yeah.
I say it aloud.
Yeah.
I will say it aloud.
But I feel like box loaders aren't that big of an issue. Like, larger servers aren't gonna have the problem of having to build them, where you can just easy place them. And
Well,
I
Yeah,
feel
no
that
build effort. Yeah.
Depends on how many if you have them. Like I think once you get like over 200, you're just gonna like.
I mean, do you
There's no
see the things that
reason-
these like hardcore YouTubers build and stuff? Like, they don't care how big it is if it works. They really don't.
Well, I'm currently doing almost like 380 bulk items, which is a lot.
Just make everything bulk, no chest hauls.
Yikes.
or everything.
You don't
bulk
want
with
1,000.
vegetables.
What is the item type even up to now? Is it like 2,000 yet?
It's like 1,200.
1,200.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember it like it used to
That's-
be
yeah, that's
800 a while ago. Then it was 1,000. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. And now it's like 1,200. Oh my.
Yeah. I mean, I think
It's popular.
15% is copper. Yeah.
6 less than my points.
But yeah, that was my other thing why I haven't really cared to develop some of this tech either with simple parallel loaders or something. Because even with mist systems, I always hated it was only one times unloading into each slice, or chest hauls one item unloading into each chest. And so that's what shifted me over to Boxmas pretty quickly, is because if you load into the box, you can load faster.
Yeah. I mean, boxes are just like much easier to work with if you're trying to build interesting things.
Yeah, but you got to have the systems to find them and all that. And so
Yeah, exactly. And so you add layers of complexity to use the boxes, but you add layers of features for those layers of complexity.
yeah, more versatile.
I genuinely think that Boxmas is like going to be the future, just because we're
Wait
going
till
to
I
keep
finish
doing
mine.
more.
If
Yeah.
I do.
It definitely will
Something.
be.
So like we're getting too many item types in the game, and that's why that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why hard sorting is so appealing to me. Is just like MIS is a necessity, I think, and if we're going to keep getting more items, we're going to need to keep using more MIS. And if we want MIS to be reasonable, we need to do boxes, because otherwise you don't get enough storage space. And box MIS and var sorting are like best buddies. So
I think the UI is also like a lot better with split boxes in it than
yeah,
mixed items, mixed chest.
yeah, no, 100%.
Horrible with normal MIS. But it's like really interesting, like with the new updates, like how long is it gonna take before like a storage becomes too big for like the
Never.
items?
No, exactly, right? Like that's the question, is like if you're gonna have a chest haul item, if most of your things are gonna be in chest haul, like at some point that's gonna be too many items, right? Your hauls are gonna be fucking long. And it's not gonna be reasonable. I mean, like already I feel like 63 long hauls is ridiculous.
They're
Well, that was
too
the thing
long.
with my Boxmas video that was like somewhat April Fool's and somewhat wasn't. That was, I'm pretty sure it was 16 long slices with a double chest filter, mist filter on each side, and I fit every item in the game into that.
Exactly. Yeah.
32 block long hallway. Every item in the game.
Miss is just a necessity, I think. Like, and will
That was
continue
like
to be.
back 1.21 though, but yeah.
I mean, instead of having longer hallways, you could just have more hallways connected with one central hallway.
But that's still more.
Diagonal tech.
It's just increasing the volume.
It's still more slices.
Yeah, it's way more slices. Like the problem we're talking about is not necessarily length of hallway, but density of storage. And length of hallway is just a heuristic that you're going to experience of the density of your storage being lacking.
I think one of the problems is also it's not only like MIS and chest hole items, it's also more bulk items.
Yep.
So like a quad bulk becomes more and more like a thing you need and a thing you might have if you have enough farms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
I've been thinking about this like stuff for so long.
Yeah, we're going to have too many item types. I would say we already have too many item types for chest hall to be like the main method of storing. But I'm a little more anti chest hall than the average individual.
It depends on
What's the
how willing you
alternative?
are.
Quad bulks?
It depends how willing you are to tolerate 3 halls plus small MIS with copper and like arrow stuff. So if
Yeah.
you don't mind 3 halls, then it's like you can still cling to your hope. But as these copper updates come out, it's like, dude,
It's one
we
way
cannot do this
crazy.
anymore. And like, how many people are really willing to do 10 chests per slice, chest holes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I
Why
think
is there
there's
such an
some
algorithm?
merit as someone who my storage is only chest halls, so we're kind of like opposites. So I think there's like more purpose for like fully or encoding the chest halls to do MIS in like each chest.
I'm confused. What's with the hate with chest halls? What's wrong with them? Like what's the alternative?
Alternative is MIS.
The density is just worse.
Yeah, the density of chest halls is really, really bad.
Wait,
I
till
think-
you see
Nice
quad
though,
bulk.
because chest halls, if you ever get more of the item, you can store more of the item. Like you can put boxes into a chest really easily if you just happen to have enough. Even like just manual compacting. With Miss, it's hard to always do that.
Yeah,
I've
I
not
mean,
used box MIS, but I feel like the user experience is kind of annoying compared to chest hole. Like running around feels nicer than like scrolling through boxes.
Honestly,
having
I
to
agree.
yeah, there are solutions to those problems. Let me tell you.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
That's like one of the things I've spent a lot of time doing is trying to optimize, at least from my preferences, box MIS user interface and experience. And so, like for example, if you're doing I like smaller MIS categories, but the thing is like for example, if you do one slice for a wood type, like a half slice for a wood type, you'll have realistically you'll have 12 items in that slice type, right? Like I think there's 12 different wood variants. And so that's a very small MIS category, first and foremost. And then so you're not going to spend a lot of time scrolling. The second thing is you can color boxes differently using box coloring technology. And so you don't actually need to be panning over boxes looking at what they have in them. You can just have different items with different colors. Right.
Or
And
use
over
client
time-
preview mods, but
Yeah, exactly. But even vanilla, you can just color the boxes and you'll learn what's in what box. And so you can
that
open the
limits you to
chat.
16 types per slice though.
Yeah, but that's
My
more than
issue with MIS is mostly that one, I still find that the visual feedback of just seeing the block displays is still much better than just
Yeah, definitely.
having color-coded sugar box. They are as good as you want, but not as close as just seeing block, picking block, and just going open chest.
Yeah,
And
I think that
also-
you still can have one representative block for most MIS categories, but continue.
Yeah. And then biggest issue I have is just storage capacity, honestly. Because if I have 12 items in a MIS slice, I won't be storing much of any of them. Realistic.
Right. So that's where box MIS is really, really important because you can store full boxes in your slice instead of loose items or along with loose items, typically. And so
Okay,
you
but then
actually
I would
get
need to
significant
like.
capacity.
When I would need to like go and
Well, that's
open
what I was
each
talking
individual
about
box
earlier with
if I
color
don't have
coding
access.
them, or you can use the mods that will show you what's in the box. So you can literally just like see what's in your chest. And if you need items, you can use toss displays from the box.
That's true.
And that's
I know.
that. I think that's a very reasonable compromise to make, and it doesn't really make your user experience bad.
Like, sure, it could work, but what are you why are you compromising? Like, to gain what?
To gain storage density, higher storage capacity, and more flexibility with what goes in and out of the chest.
Yep.
No, not
It's also like a
capacity.
smaller
It's
storage,
loose
yeah.
capacity.
Capacity?
No, it is more
loses.
capacity because you can store full boxes,
Boxmas is more capacity, way more.
significantly more.
Mm.
It's not close.
The problem is that you have
Compared to
to
chest hall.
open the box.
Yeah, compared to chest hall, it's way more capacity. But yeah, opening the box is like the actual question mark. I think that, like, I've seen Kristen and I have talked about this before, but Kristen likes doing a variable display per slice. I think that's reasonable. I think that is also a little overkill. I
like
think
toss
that-
displays.
Yeah, I think having toss displays down the center of your hall, like, is fairly standard still already, is already more than enough. Because you can literally just turn, like, grab your box, turn around, toss your box in.
I just really
You're-
like the toss displays because then you can leave the common items in the floor.
Yeah,
And so
Yeah,
if you're like your log types, your cobblestone, your like glass, I
God,
don't know.
I would
But like if you're
hate that.
using a certain item type more common, you can just it stays in the display easy to access.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so it basically
my
becomes
brain
a
would
variable
just
chest hall.
my brain would just default to looking for the box where it's supposed to be, rather than where it actually is in the display. And personally, I would hate that, but
It definitely
Yeah.
does take some getting used to. It's not as
Yeah.
like your item is always here. That's the biggest issue with it. And I do understand.
Well, yeah, and I think for me, when again this comes back
Which
to
is why I
like
still
how
have survival.
I on my system and my preference, but I think this makes sense. I have quick access items, so to speak. So there is a fixed position for certain items. Like, for example, if you have a slice for your oak, then I would have a chest that's dedicated to receiving only oak planks and a chest that's dedicated to receiving only oak logs. Right? And those things would be sorted like chest hall style, so to speak. Or you can do a lot of fun stuff with like sorting partial boxes and displaying them for the player. And so if you're
you
ever
do a
looking,
hybrid.
if you're ever looking for those items, you don't need to look in the chest that has like all the different item types in them. You just have one place that you're checking. And so that kind of streamlines the user experience because most of the time that you look for things, you're looking for a very small portion of your items. And so if you display those items, then your experience will be the same as a chest haul, like 99% of the time. But you have access to full boxes as well and more storage space as well, and higher density as well. So
To your point though about like knowing where the box is in my survival world, because I was putting the boxes and filling the boxes manually, I always had a normal item next to the box, and I put the box next to that item, always in the same spot. And so I always knew where the box was, and it was always next to a visual cue of the item in the chest. You just can't do that with redstone though. But yeah.
Okay, what I think I'm also seeing is that some of these interesting display solutions would work really well for single player, where you would actually properly learn your storage system, and they wouldn't work so well for servers.
Also likely.
I mean,
Because
I
for servers, you just want the UI to be like super intuitive, and you don't want someone to ever be like, how the hell does this UI work?
yeah,
You just want
Yeah, I can
everyone
get that.
understands chest hall.
I mean, I
It's
think
also
that
just
has
been around the
to-
longest. The
Yeah, I was
fact
just
that my
gonna say
video got like
people's
3,000
exposure.
views, I think proves that there are people interested in other options.
Yeah, I
I'll
think
just use mine.
boxed
They're at this
MIS
point way more interesting.
will get. I think it deserves more traction, and as it gets more traction, will become more intuitive because it'll just be more widely understood. I mean, like if you look at like what the storage systems 95% of players are building actually are, it's like still 2 items per slice chest hauls, right? With chest spam, like that's the most common system probably still because it's fucking Shulkercraft.
Yeah, but like one level above that is
Popular
Yam's
garbage?
type systems.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think
Yeah,
Yams is one level above that, but
there's some
I think
think I'm-
Jameis is one level above that.
probably even compact categorizer and then JMIS.
Yeah, I guess depends what level you want to go describe
Yeah.
it as, but yeah.
But I mean, I think for servers, like the intuitiveness of kind of what I described, where it's like you have small MIS categories, like big MIS categories, I think are really unintuitive because it's whatever the player jams together when they're setting their layup out. But like if you have a small category, items are already in clumps, right?
Yeah,
Almost. And so it's really easy to say, okay, this is my oak slice. All of my oak stuff's in this slice, right? And if you're looking for like oak planks, it'll be there. If you're looking for oak fences, it'll be there. And if
That's-
not, then, you know,
The biggest thing with Miss is like if you make your own categories, like I've made an item layout about like 3 different times now for Miss categories for like every item. And if you make your own categories, you can make it so it makes sense where your items are. And
Yeah.
then you can just put one block in the floor. It's like, these are these items. The problem is that there's a wide interpretation on where some items go in the uncommon categories.
true.
Because I've done things where I have like a tool chest and like I have crafting tables and furnaces together and things like that. But then people get confused if that should be like in the redstone chest possibly, or like, and then there's things like, where does an egg go? Is that like a useful item or is it a mob drop? Or and there's a bunch of different ways you can categorize the items. So that's where like Miss gets confusing for like an average
Yeah.
user.
I think it's pretty much like
Oh,
universal.
yeah, sorry,
though.
we're getting very off topic.
Yeah. But I think it's pretty universal to have confusion about it. Yeah, I don't think that's the big problem.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, back
Especially on a
to,
server.
for going back to being on topic, the reason I think Boxmas was interesting and like I would talk about in this topic is that it works well with VAR sorting in a way that chest hall does not. That's
Yeah.
why it originally got brought up, right? Like I think the direction that realistic we're moving with like how sorting has to evolve to match the sheer density of items in the game. I think chest hall is going to be
Quantity, but yeah.
it you have to keep limiting what you put in chest hall and moving more things to MIS. And as that happens, more and more items that you're gonna have some of or a lot of will be in MIS. And then VAR sorting will be more useful. And same with bulk, right? As farms get better, we'll have more and more bulk items, and VAR sorting will be more and more useful because 380 box loaders is a fuck ton. Like, that's a lot of box loaders. When you could just do VAR sorting and it'd be a lot smaller.
It's not that big actually.
380.
Oh, no, man. That's a lot.
Hey,
I don't think you're gonna pull that one.
Oh boy.
Uh,
How big is a box loader? Like 8x8 roughly? Times
Yeah.
300? You could fit like all
I mean,
VAR sorting technology in that space. Probably.
I mean, you
Imagine
should
it's like
probably
7 times
VAR.
380 hoppers.
Jesus, man. Yeah, that's hopper spam too. I didn't even think about that. Like, the lag saving is real when you have that many extra hoppers and dispensers and droppers.
The one
Like,
time where hop-loading, like hop-locking, is actually encouraged.
yeah, exactly. Like, if you're gonna have
Yeah.
Jesus, yeah.
Tiz,
So,
are you writing a summary of all this, or
summary, strong term for what I'm doing. I have things to test. This is being recorded, so there is a video of it.
okay, sure.
Yeah.
Are we
But I
on a
have,
server somewhere, or just mostly chat?
there is a server. We pasted a couple par unloaders on Suntech, but
Okay.
have with them actually. But yeah, I mean, I think it's. Yeah, I think we just need more information for a lot of the questions we have. Unfortunately, we are lacking in information.
What would the information help you do?
I mean, like, so, like, the questions of, like, how things to test, right? We're talking about, like, how fast can it be? So, like, realistically, if
Okay,
we're
so we
trying,
test it, but like,
is
this just like
Once we have the information,
more
once
advanced
we
IKEA
upload,
storages? Like, what are you?
yeah. So the question, like, the point is trying to build a case for where and in what ways var sorting is actually better than parallel unloading, and then turning that into here are the use cases for var sorting, even in IKEA systems. Like, if you want it to be faster, if you want to have this feature set, if you want this, yeah, like basically it's trying to make like a more, just to like make people make more informed decisions about what they choose, because right now most people aren't even making a choice because they aren't even considering var sorting, right? It's just like, I'm doing parallel unloading because that's what you do. Like, what's the other option? You know? So it's like trying to build a case and then we can modify what we make moving forward to try and improve the case for var sorting if we feel inclined to.
I think it's also about like accessibility and like plug and play
Yeah.
components where the psych war would be better, I guess.
Yeah. It's just you just plug your input into it, you're done.
Yeah.
That would
And
be
I
very
think
nice.
like the plug and play point that you brought up, Luki, is like a good reason for like why we see a lot of players choose the ideal splitter without really like considering it. Is they just kind of see it and they're like, okay, I'm going to use that and not have to worry about.
It's a big cool thing that
merging.
says fast speed. Let's
yeah,
use.
exactly.
They don't realize that no one wants to help them fix it yet.
But that is like
Yeah,
the reason
quick
why
is
they
gonna
choose Ideal Splitter is because it is like the plug and play version, or like the VAR plug and play version of parallel unloading, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you finished the test list. Nice.
Finished again, strong. I'll probably have to edit it again because I probably missed some things, but
Hey, it's something.
yeah.
The second one though, with SVAR parallel unloaders, I think Lukeem was saying just a normal splitter, not necessarily entity splitter, but
No,
Yeah,
I mean entity splitter and a card splitter, because a normal splitter doesn't do anything, like a dueling hopper one.
Yeah, I mean, I think these are all like worth seeing the numbers for.
I'm
A lot
actually
of
quite
these
interested in like entity splitter because the size is probably like comparable to.
yeah.
It's not that much bigger.
Yeah, plug and play merger would be really nice. Yeah, I think Nomo, that is a really fair point with MAS bulk systems. Is like,
we should probably say it. I've seen a lot of people have issues with the miss or chest hold and miss transition as well. That's what Noma's comment was about.
fix it.
The oldest example of a fix for that was because you have the parallel unloader for the chest haul, and then the extra items go to miss. So I saw people just with like 10 double chests and one of the, it might have been like yams or something, it just buffered into the miss. I haven't seen any full storage use a cart miss though, but I think it is possible to use a cart miss and not need any buffer.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. I think the problem is that you can't really put cart miss at the end of a chest haul.
You can, it's just
You don't really need it though.
I meant it's a really bad idea, I suppose. It's like
the
doesn't-
idea though, if you have your item layout properly, is that you shouldn't have that many miss items. So
Yeah,
a buffer
exactly.
should be all you need.
Yeah.
I've
I
seen
mean, I
people
think-
do like bigger buffers too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people will load it into boxes at high speeds, and
I
then
think that's a bit overkill though, but it's definitely
I think it's an awful idea. But like, if people do it, I would rather.
it's
like,
better
yeah,
than like having too small a buffer though.
That's probably true. Yeah, too small buffer is a bad outcome.
I think we.
Oh no, my diamond ore is despawning.
Yeah.
I was about to say you could do what
Oh,
Phoenix
no.
did in their first storage and just let the items despawn.
We did a red one double
Storage
chest,
that.
and like the overflow goes into the mixed loader for over.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable way to do it. I feel like
I,
mixed.
I didn't like it because if you have enough, you can just have to sort again,
Yeah,
which is like one of the downsides. But it's a way to do it.
Oh. Yeah, var sorting is just so like complex. When you say parallel enloader, like there's a few different versions, but when you say var sorting, it's like
what do you mean?
you're saying so much.
Yeah,
It's such a general overloaded term. Parallel enloader is like
means
machine.
one. Yeah,
It's also like really straightforward because if you think about it, like when you do storage, like as a first timer, you think, oh, I need to unload the box. So you would
Yeah.
just do like 1x unloader.
yeah,
You're like, oh, I can do categories to make it
Yeah, they've also
faster.
been around a while, so people know what they are. And Cubic's made
exactly.
videos, and other people's made videos describing roughly how they work and why they're needed.
yeah. I think that's maybe one of the most explained concepts. Maybe the most complex explained concept on YouTube.
Probably,
It is really
honestly.
funny seeing like hardcore YouTubers explain the unloaders.
Oh, it's awful. It pisses me off every time. Holy shit. They butcher
So
the
there was this one hardcore YouTuber like recently. He had a system. He categorized everything with signs like this is nature and this is that, and he did like a manually assigning the parallel loader. It was
Oh my
just 1x loaders. It was really annoying.
That's what I think Wild was doing initially, and then he like found. He was like, "Oh, I
Yeah,
found this,"
Wild Z. Yeah, that's the guy.
and it's like Jesus, man. Like,
Yeah. It was really funny watching that video. I don't think
yeah.
the stage was bad in the end though. It's IKEA, but it's his, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that. I was like, "What? I don't know what this one means."
It's like, this is literally just parallel loader.
No, yeah, it literally is just parallel motor. It's the most IKEA system.
So if we want to make sort of a component, I guess, of a var loop, I feel like there's kind of two options. There's one, like make stuff around the ideal splitter, make like actual fixing documentation and other things around the ideal splitter and make that more supported. Or defining some sort of split merge based, probably with
Solution.
SVAR var loop.
I would do the second.
Sigvar.
Yes, I agree. Sigvar.
Is the I mean that is the quintessential plug and play. Aside,
And also, like, it works
The
the
three
best for
options
like
there.
99% of solutions.
what was that?
It works the best for like most solutions as well. So
Yeah.
How many
And-
boxes do you guys
Slow with
batch
it.
for a SIGFAR?
You don't
My
batch. What do you
my
think?
sigma goes for like, I think it works for
Like, how many mixed boxes do you put in at once? Because you have to limit the set at some point, or the input
yeah.
set.
So it's like that's a matter of how you rate your system to work, right? It's like mine has like 2 double chests of buffer per slice and 4 double chests of buffer for input, right?
And I
So
assume you detect if the slice gets full.
no, did not. So
That's rough.
if you're trying to be like maximally safe, just put 2 double chests of input as the limit, and every slice can handle all of it.
Okay.
But like that would be such a crazy edge case. But it's like it's worth considering. You don't want your boxes despawning. So I think 2 double chests is like the absolute upper limit of what you would ever input into any system, basically ever, except for like when you're moving things from one system to the other. Realistically, I think 1 double chest is totally fine as well.
Okay.
But I think anything lower than that, and you're playing with the idea that like you're gonna feel disappointed that you can't input more at some point, you know.
How are you guys getting like so many mixed boxes in your system? I get like 1 box like once a week or something.
It's like theoretical. Like,
It
how
is
much
theoretical.
stuff would people come back with that we want to deal with sorting?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's fair. Yes, I just like I don't.
It's like a
make
high
my
edge
boxes
case.
in my single player as much. Yeah, I get. Yeah, there's like edge case.
It's like engineering versus theoretical physics.
I do
That's
know when
right.
I was doing survival, I would normally have like maybe 6 mixed boxes of
Yeah,
stuff when I was doing
that's actually
single
inaccurate.
player projects.
Unless you're just cleaning
Yeah,
up from like a
yeah.
huge project and just going like dumping
I never
everything
made
in,
that much
but
of a mess though.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
make mess when I do a project.
it depends what you're making.
Yeah.
Like for example,
But that's
I remember like
Quarry
finishing
cough.
a quarry or like a really big pearl cannon. You usually have a lot of items just left over.
But that's
which you need
also
to
one of the
sort.
benefits of a var sorting system, where let's say you come from a project and you had shulkers of like pistons, observers, slime blocks, and all of those boxes are like already split technically. With var sorting systems, you can just do a split or skip, and you put
You
everything in
could, but
time
so many
for-
people make a full box check on the bulk input, and I don't know if that's like a bad or a good idea. I don't like it
That's an
personally.
I've been
awful
using
idea.
split or skip in my single player for like a year. It's fine. I don't like you do full box sorter after the whitelister.
Yeah,
Or like
no, it's
the
just I
NTIs are doing the
saw it in
whitelist.
like Bipim storage and other places that it's like, why are you if you have a splitter bypass, like, yeah,
I mean, I think the reason is like people don't trust the player, which is fair.
yeah, that's the
At the same
biggest one.
time, you are forcing yourself to do a lot more work, your system to do a lot more work than it otherwise would have to.
But then there's people like
Is
me
it
who, when I played
sure?
survival and made mixed boxes when I was done with the projects, I made sure to fill it all perfectly up with full stacks,
Yep,
even if
no
they were
same.
mixed. And so like
Exactly.
it would not work if I was playing on that world.
No, same. It's like anytime
Same.
I think it's playstyle dependent. Me and Obi, like we talked about this like quite a lot, and it's like having a splitter skip is kind of nice.
yeah. Well, it's
I
like
would have a splitter skip. I would
It's-
just like actually do it manually, not have a full box check that doesn't really do anything.
No, you wouldn't have a full box check. You just have is this box has items? in it.
yeah, yeah.
So you don't send empty boxes to your temp.
All right. Because usually when you just finish projects, what you do is just you fill it up. Like you fill a box up with mixed items just to reduce the space in your inventory.
Hmm.
And then you have these full shulkers of mixed items. And it's not partial, it's not like 3 stacks per shulkers. It's like 4 shulkers of straight up mixed items.
No, I think that is definitely very common for me, which is why it's like I don't think the full check is very helpful, because I will literally just like drag my entire inventory into a shulker box pick up more items, drag it in there. Like until I can't fit any more items in that box, I'm not closing the box. So it's like it's going to be perfectly full. So yeah, I feel like the full check doesn't help. But again, it is playstyle dependent. Some people are going to produce more mixed boxes that are partials, and that's fine. I just would rather, like, especially if you're doing VAR sorting, like Lukeem said, like you have this massive advantage where you can sort single out of type boxes, never have to unload them, and that's like amazing.
Yeah.
I have thought a little bit about like trying to include like a full check, just like, and then you send the box back to the player and say, hey, did you actually really want this to go here? And then you can click yes, and then it would send the box through anyways, like add like a verification step. But that's like kind of annoying to do.
Yeah, that would get kind of annoying really quickly.
That's like some
think
Windows.
I feel like the bulk
operating
or
system
splitter
thing.
bypass chest is the verification chest, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, you just kind of assume that people mean to put things where they put them, and you're done.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the same with unloading. Like you're meant to assume that you didn't unload the system.
Yeah, that's true. Very, very true. I mean, there's just some things that we can't reasonably account for, and so it's not worth trying to account for them. And like,
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of account for unloading with like detectors and such.
yeah, that's true. And like where you can reasonably account for them, you should. But if you can't, don't. And just say like, just so you know, there's an edge case here. Like, be careful.
Edge case, every 100th chest just blows up.
That would be unfortunate. Tragedy. Any other thoughts?
Nope. But I would like a summary of what we did talk about today because I was also gone for a little bit. So
There's a
just so
YouTube.
everyone, yeah, but like also so we can all understand what we talked about, what decisions we want to make in the future, because based on this call.
Are we gonna AI summary?
No,
videos?
no AI.
No way. But just to
I should have
so
been
we
taking
all
notes.
come out of this understanding what we actually want out of
Yeah.
this goal and what we actually decided and everything.
Right now, I'm making a list of points of consideration, just like the general layout of like what we think is important when we're comparing VAR sorting to parallel loaders. Right now, I have plug and play ability, throughput and latency of items, fixability. Chest halls don't really benefit from VAR sorting, and then complexity. What other things do we remember or recall?
Also, pausability, right?
Yeah, I had that down, but I thought
It's a
that
vote.
we determined it wasn't really like a issue in either case.
Oh, I see.
Um,
And box MIS supremacy, right?
Yep, yeah. I'll include that.
I don't think that needs to be included in this, but
Well, I mean, with VAR sorting, right? Like,
think
if you
it's
have a
well,
system
yes.
which wants, like an encoded chest hall, right? If you have a system which wants the ability to store a box, then VAR sorting is really your better option.
I'm putting it in there. I mean, it was one of the things we talked about, so. And then I'll include as a footnote, it was just VAR sorting is good with box, MIS, and encoded. Okay, so plug and play ability, throughput and latency, fixability, complexity. Chest halls don't benefit from VAR sorting. Box MIS does. And so does encoded. What else? Is there anything else?
I guess it's just like the size of the whole storage in general. Like,
Yeah.
if you build box loaders, like you can cut down a lot of size without not needing to have those.
/ compactness, feature set.
Yeah.
Complexity. Our uploader is simpler. Fixability. Our loader is probably. Okay. And then I guess I'll include like a blurb at the end, kind of talking about what we want to do moving forward, which should be like basically moving forward. We would like to make VAR some more plug and play VAR systems, increase resources for understanding VAR systems, or make resources for understanding VAR systems. Make more plug and play systems, resources for understanding VAR systems. What else do we want to do?
And then also like getting some more specific testing data, although there was already some testing data.
Specific, more testing data for speed and size comparisons. I'll add cart supremacy to the list of things we talked about.
So base.
Or sorting becomes
I
much
might
more.
go make a rant later talking about cart systems I'd like to see, somewhat based on this discussion. We'll see what happens.
Sounds good. Get more
Because I
testing.
think one thing I've noticed is like there's a lot of separate projects going in different directions, and a lot of people interested in seeing development, but not sure exactly where to put it.
I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people are interested in spectating development, but not a lot engaged in the development actively.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I tend to wonder if people would be interested in engaging in the development if they understood it more or something.
No, I think
think-
most people are just even if they do understand the issue or like what the development, let's say, is trying to solve, most times they just either are scared of putting it in practice or like straight up have no idea how to do it. I mean, there's no resource for that. You just need to practice.
Yeah,
I guess YouTube culture has kind of trained people to like just watch innovation.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's just a lot it's a lot easier to watch other people do the hard things than it is to do the hard.
Of course.
I don't know if we need to be trained to do that. We're just lazy, which I respect. Like, it makes sense.
I'll refrain from
Let
talking
others do
about
it.
religious stuff from that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Testing data for speed and size comparisons. Generally make faster loops.
yeah. I think if we got like a good SFAR thing working, loops would get faster.
Yeah, that's true. I'll put in brackets.
Which I will make one more note since people are here, but I need to ask this to Skyzy and Monica and stuff. Because I've seen the bottom of SFARs. There's two ways people do it. One is a local like batching output, where after in each slice you check if there's 2 boxes and then you send them both out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've seen in Skyzy's system he tried to share recently, it was a double chest of buffer in each SFAR slice, and then once it was done SFAR sorting, it unloaded each chest, paired them up, and sent them out one at a time. Unloaded each chest one at a time. There you go. And
we did the latter in the CNMS
that
loop.
takes a lot of time that you can't use the
Yeah.
SFAR.
Yeah, you're kind of
So-
like bugging again in the SFAR.
So
Which
like,
isn't it?
what if the SFAR or the storage under the SFAR was a toggle buffer in each slice in a sense, like it shuffled between 2 double chests. So the SFAR could keep going and reset faster, and then you unload each double chest.
Hyper-threaded.
I don't know if that's hyper-threaded, it's just switching a buffer,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I
maybe that
think
is hyper-threaded.
pair output from your SVAR itself when you find pairs is a really good idea. I think the problem is that you can end up with like batching issues, so to speak, where
Yeah, 2 could be sent out at once and stuff.
Yeah.
Kriston, I straight up didn't understand that question, so could you just repeat it real quick?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good. Okay, SFAR has, like when you're doing an SFAR, you have a batch of boxes that you're trying to see if there are any matches in these boxes. So you send them all through the SFAR, and now you have some boxes in overflow, and each of the slices have some boxes. The typical goal of SFAR right now is to output boxes either as a matching pair or a single box that doesn't match.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
you have to spend time to figure that out somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be relatively simple to do it under each SFAR slice
Yeah.
so that they all run in parallel. The problem
So,
is...
yeah, so like integrate the logic.
Yeah, the problem is that there's a chance that those will get mixed up because you could have a slice triggered right after the other. And then those pairs might get mixed up if you have like them going into water stream or something.
I mean, for water stream, you
Cybot
can do
did
something.
this in dropper
similar-
lines.
Yeah. You can
Yeah,
do
okay,
double
that
line.
would work better, but like, you can just align them a bit like you would do in a matrix chess hole.
Yeah,
You
there's
just
probably
align
ways
them.
around it.
Yeah.
But Cybot did it with a 16 game tick SFAR, and he had the boxes output in a dropper line at 8 game tick.
Also, the
when they
thing
were
is about like including the logic immediately is you would need to also use the boxes immediately. Otherwise, you have no way. Either you store them, but that storing each pair in a separate manner would like be a real
It's
mess, or you just use them immediately.
it's not about like if you want to use them immediately. It's about how fast can you reset the SFAR. If you check all of them in the slices at the same time, or yeah, you have those pair checkers going multiple. I can't speak. One in each slice. Then by the time the SFAR has finished going through all the boxes to search for, you just clear that last box out of the way, and then the SFAR can start on the next cycle instantly. That's
Fair.
the biggest benefit of that. But if I was saying like if you have a toggle buffer under each slice, you can do the simpler version of just unload each chest sequentially one at a time into a single pair checker machine. And normally that would take a lot of time, but if you do a toggle buffer in each SFAR slice, then the SFAR can switch the chest it's pointing into and instantly start that next cycle.
but you have 2 separate buffers per SVAR slice so that you can like layer up. I mean, that would be hyper-threading your SVAR.
Okay. I've always been a little bit confused on how people define those terms because they seem like they're used for different things sometimes.
They're used to describe the same thing that looks very different across different things.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
It's just hyper-threading is like starting multiple threads at with some overlap, basically.
It's using one thread to do multiple processes, a part of different like
Batches.
tasks.
Yeah.
So it's when you have only one thread, but it's doing like different tasks at the same time is roughly like the easiest way to understand it.
Yeah. It's just that if you do like
So-
the single thread, there's so much time your SVAR just can't be doing anything.
Yeah.
And then you're going back to basically the temp problem. Because
Yeah.
it's now slow.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
is there
want-
any reason to do a SVAR instead of like a faster temp?
The
I mean,
point is that a faster
you're
temp is really
pausing.
hard to do.
Yeah.
SVAR is easier to just check for a match and then ignore it. The temp has to find the match. I don't know how best to say it.
I mean, like SVAR does the same thing that temp does, but it can do it a lot faster and can search for multiple things at the same time.
Well, it doesn't do the same thing. That's the SVAR just says,
they
"Hey, did
both
you
are
match the
trying
last
to
box?"
create pairs, is what I mean when I say that. They're both
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
generate pairs to be merged. They do that in very different ways, certainly.
The thing is that a temp is inherently storing the box that doesn't match. The SVAR
Yeah.
pitches it out.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah,
why the
I mean-
SVAR can be faster, because it's not trying to find that box it just pitched out. The temp is.
But yeah, I mean, I think like
Yeah.
if we could theoretically make a fast enough temp, that would be the best option. Definitely. It's just fewer components. One thing does more work. It's great.
Yes, but it will inherently be more complicated than an SVAR would be.
Yeah. So as for
I mean, I
just
think
like
Matrix
the
is
burden.
pretty much maxed.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't use enough carts to be maxed.
I mean, yeah,
That's-
not in
I mean, like I'm thinking about like carries.
Matrix
concept.
is efficiently maxed. Right.
Yeah.
now. Like, you guys did a great job on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, with
I
carries
feel like
concepts, yeah.
whitelisted temps are better at being a temp in a sense. Matrix is already getting big for being a temp,
I would agree.
and it's really
I
hard
think-
to access the boxes.
Yeah,
That's why I
and
don't like it as much.
Almost impossible to access them.
Yeah.
I think you could try, but
Yeah, dismantling like
Crazy
half
to get
of the
up in
thing.
there.
wait until you ender pearl into the hopper or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing with like just the line of chests, like the cycling temps, I don't know what best you want to call it, whitelisting, whatever.
Yeah.
The chests tend to be really easy to access,
hmm
and even Obi was showing one recently where he like just stacked a bunch of them, and so the chest could be less full.
That was a disk drive, so you can't actually pull the boxes out of that like easily, but
Still, like theoretically, you
yeah.
could stack more of them and have the chest less full, and
Yeah.
get some faster speeds that way as well.
hmm
But
You
even
can
if you don't do
also-
that, those are easier to access. They can store more boxes more compactly. And if you use them with an SVAR, the SVAR takes more of the like, I need fast speed, and the temp is matching it with that final box. It's like that's kind of how encoded was originally like theorized.
Yeah. There's like multiple I guess like 5 different concepts with cards to speed up unencoded and also like encoded temps, where you could definitely get like faster than what the merger like can.
You could theoretically get fast
Cards.
enough that you don't need an SVAR. Yeah, with some of those concepts, definitely. But it's like those. Like every time I think about doing one of those concepts, my brain just hurts a little bit.
No,
they get-
they're kind of painful.
They get really complicated fucking fast.
I've had some ideas on how to get Bipham's temp faster, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I
there
think
are
the thing
like
I've most interested with Bipham's temp though is SVARs are kind of like it wastes a slice to have just one box in a sense,
mhm.
and I feel like there might theoretically be some system where you use something like Bipham's temp to just check for single boxes and chuck them out, and then use the SVAR to match them up. But I think that's probably just wasting a system.
I mean, I
if you
think
can find one box is lonely, then you can
Mhm.
find pairs, probably.
would be interesting. Actually, I'm thinking about this now. Is like you could kind of use some of the key genning stuff you've been doing, Christone, to like really quickly find single boxes. Like if you can key gen a fuck ton of boxes instantly, and then just compare the keys, right? Like that's what an SPAR
Yeah.
does, but you can do it faster if you leave the items in entity form, I think.
The problem
You
is,
could
how
just-
do you match them back to the box? I've thought of that, but like you can't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the problem. I think you would. Yeah, that would be really difficult to do. Carts is the answer, unfortunately, but the
Yeah.
and then you have a lot of other issues. And you're back at SVAR.
Yeah, there were some crazy concepts I was thinking of where you like do key the boxes, but you have the key and a box in one cart and a box, like you key it, check it, and then pull the keys out of the cart and then chuck the box into the cart or something. So you have two boxes in the cart and then a pile of keys somewhere else. It doesn't make any sense though how to like really move forward from there though. But
He tried.
Yeah. I mean, I do genuinely think, like, I was thinking about this because we're finishing up the new hyper-threaded whitelister temp. And, like, fundamentally, the bottleneck on that is going to be two things. The first one being slice density. So we're storing a lot of boxes in each slice, which is going to make it, like, inherently slow. And the second point is the whitelisting itself. And the fact that you have a set whitelister means that you need to check on input and out, like on an input cycle and an output cycle, you need to check to make sure the box isn't there. And one of the things that 77's variable whitelisting temp has going for it is that it has a fixed 70 game tick input cycle because it can detect if there is or is not that item present in the temp already. And that cuts the expected cycle time in half, effectively, because you only need to search half the time. And so I think the next temp that I make will probably be variable whitelisting to some extent, so that the search time is significantly lower, because you have input cycles that can not even bother with the search.
I think there's also like some idea with like doing a grouper that's 4 game ticks instead of 8 game ticks.
Yeah,
It's gonna be awful.
yeah, that'd be awful to wire, but it would be very helpful speed wise. I mean, it would double the speed of anything.
Yeah.
Just we need to do.
Oh, by the way, Tiz and Luke, like, I didn't really keep up with it, but I was asking, who was it? Chris, I think it was. Like, he was talking to me about, like, teaching me literally how components go together, and one of the things was, like, temp, right? And he mentioned, like, oh yeah, we have matrix temps, which is really good, and I understood why. And he was like, this is pretty much maxed out. So I was like, then why are Luke and Tiz making a new temp? Like, what benefits are they trying to get out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's
like, what's the answer
it's,
to that?
it's a different niche. Like if you compare a 1x like simple unloader to a parallel unloader, that's comparing the matrix to like the whitelisted temp. But it's
Oh,
also
okay, so
the whitelisted temp also keeps a pretty fast speed, while
Mhm.
pretty being like noticeably smaller and more
Okay.
features.
Yeah.
so
So
it's
there's like
footprint and like parallelization, whereas matrix temp is just pure fast and that's it.
yeah I mean they're both walking a line in between speed and size. Matrix is a lot faster, but like probably like over 2 times the size. And then hyper like the whitelister temp is going to be a lot of features, a lot smaller, and then also fast. But because the categories are larger, it will never be as fast. Specifically, like for me, when I was thinking about designing it and what features we wanted to include, I was thinking I want this temp to be really, really good to attach to ideal output splitting methods. So ideal splitter and SICVAR. It should work really, really optimally with, because it will have, it has a built-in is full box check and a separate output for whitelisted full boxes. As well as a pretty fast whitelisted, non-whitelisted cycle. Yeah. So just more features.
Yeah.
I think Matrix is more of for like non-ideal output if you want it to be like still be fast,
Yeah.
since it can pair the boxes way faster, and when you have ATEX splitting or such, well, faster need for the processing.
Yeah, exactly. If you're really trying to min-max speed, use Matrix. But like, if you care about features and build effort, yeah, those are the two things that Hyperthread Attempts is going to beat Matrix on every front end. But it was also just like I had made a V1 of Hyperthreaded, and I learned a lot when we did Matrix. And I wanted to apply what we learned to that, because I found that a lot of people actually were really interested in using V1 because it's small, compact, has high density. And those are just like really desired features.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was gonna use it before you mentioned that you were doing a second version. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to help with that. So
Yeah,
why
and it's looking pretty good. So very promising stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. We did.
Well, you did.
It was more
Don't
me.
Unfortunate.
Yes.
Where will this like recording of this class session be accessed from?
It'll be
Willie's
YouTube.
channel.
Yeah, Willie's.
What's the name of it? Is it just called Willie's?
Ragdoll Willie's channel. He will probably post it in like storage tech videos.
Yeah.
I'll post it.
Yeah, and Andrews has a pinned playlist. So
Let me just subscribe to Ragdoll Willie.
yeah, you should.
Guys.
Click the notification bell as well if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Oh, I
click the
hate that.
bell.
No, I don't turn notification bells on anything.
You should. You should.
That's I
He's
see. Like
sacrificing his storage space for us.
me, I check to see if a new video comes up like every once in a while, but I hate being like notified of it.
I don't check notifications. They're like sitting there, so
Speaking of
Okay, about the recording.
Speaking of the recording, we're well over 2 hours. Can we conclude the weekly conversation?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think we're done.
Let's make it
Okay.
3 hours.
You can cut it off.
since we're here.